Alright everybody, I wanted to make a video today about some gear choices and talk about some considerations. Now there's hundreds if not thousands of options out there that you can use, and how you stage your gear is going to be based upon what your mission parameter is going to be. How far you're going to move, how long you're going to move, how far you expect to be out there, and obviously the type of mission that you're wanting to run and what you're wanting to do, and that's for all walks of life. So we talk about sustainment, try to really get away from the concept of a bug out bag. You can only live so far out of a bag with simple items, food, water, and all that good stuff. You need to be able to replicate the things that you don't have and continue on with them. So in doing that, you've got a larger pack, and I'll try to make a video on that at some point else. But inside this larger pack, what I try to do is keep this little bag right here, and in this bag we can store the essentials that we're going to need if we need to ditch the larger pack and go to something smaller, more discreet. And also what's kind of important is this gear doesn't scream military. It looks very hippie-ish almost, even. You can see any walk of life kind of carrying this thing and doing it. And I'll show you kind of what to keep in here just in case. And obviously you can change the loadout for whatever you need. And then there are times when you can completely empty it out and keep only a few items and move away from wherever you're stashing your gear in order to use this to collect more items that you find and kind of use it like as a foraging bag and everything. So anyways, let's go ahead into it. So obviously this is a wax canvas bag, which is extremely durable. It's water resistant, if not waterproof. You keep maintaining it with wax, melt it, rub it in, it lasts for a long time. It's made by Badger Claw Outfitters. Checking their stuff out, they got some really good stuff, and it seems to hold up really well over time. And so you've got this front compartment here, and you got a main compartment in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through this main compartment. What I like to do is carry one of their belt kits as well. It's the same type of material as far as wax canvas, and this is something I can put on the body when I'm out moving around, and that way I can have it no matter really what the configuration is going to be. And this kind of stays on my body because it's kind of most important. You want to be able to get to it the quickest and be able to use what's in it. So basically what I'm going to keep in here, the number one items that I'm going to roll with is going to be my actual utility knife itself. And the three biggest things that I'm going to use on the utility knife is going to be the blade, the saw, and then the actual awl, or the needle point on here. And I can use that for shaping, making toggles, doing different things with cordage. So we also carry a ferrocerium rod on here for striking, so these two can actually be used together for that purpose, which is pretty neat. And then obviously this is just a Grim Survival cordage tool that you can use to take any type of bottle as far as plastic wise and turn that into cordage. So that way you thankfully don't have to carry around a lot of 550 cord or any type of even mariner's line, number 36 bank line or anything like that. You can use this to recreate what you find, and we always want to try to repurpose our trash and find things out there. And it's kind of the whole pack possum mantra there. Find the trash, use what you can, and take from the land. So anyways, that's going to be that knife there. And then what we're going to have in here is going to be an actual needle tool. Now there's a gentleman out in California, and I'll post the details below on who makes this and everything, but just is actually meant to be used as a very small EDC or a non-permissive weapon. And what I've mostly used it for is actually for a hole punch, either in wood or fabric or anything else. I can use it to punch, and then we can sew as far as material, put it together, and do all that kind of stuff. So it's got a bunch of little uses to it. All right, I'm going to carry some actual tarred mariner's line or bank line. This can be used to recreate anything. I use it to help build traps or bushcraft anything that I need together to be able to make little designs and whatnot. And then obviously over here I'm going to carry a cigarette lighter, because that's going to be our first fire application. We always want to try to use a lighter first and then move on to the other things. I know people say, well, that's cheating. There's no such thing as cheating. If it works, it works. We use this first, and then we move on to more primitive methods the further that we go along. So always carry a lighter pretty much in every compartment that you can get one in, and always stash extras with you. And then we're going to carry a bandana, just a general purpose cotton bandana. And the reason I like carrying multiples of these around is because we can use this to signal. We can also use it to mark. If we're doing like a type of area reconnaissance off of a trail, you've navigated to a certain location and you want to drop your pack and you want to move out and kind of forage, you can put this, hang it up in a tree, and that way it's easier to find where you left off on your pace count and everything that you're using. You can also use this as a base layer for water filtration. You know, this is like a pre-filter, gets a lot of the sludge out before you clog your filter up. And of course there's other tons of uses for bandana. It's got about 100 uses. So, and then the last thing I'm going to carry is actually going to be the ability to purify water. And so obviously there's a difference between water purification and water filtration. And just because you filter water doesn't mean that you purify water. So you need to do research, and at some point, given time and whatever, we'll try to do some more videos on the difference and how to know when and how to do that kind of stuff. So that's just in the belt kit. Like I said, that stays on the body, and you're able to run that pretty much all the time. Now, in here, we'll talk about some of the principles that we need, that we'll use. This right here is going to be a collapsible container. So we obviously can't cook or boil in it, but you can use this and fold it down. So I'm really looking to save space in this application. If I find any type of fluid or liquid or whatever, I'm going to fill that up and use that to do everything we need to. Like I said, this is all short, very short period, very lightweight. This is not going to be full-time, you know, making... Hello, dog. What's up? You're gonna hang out. You're gonna hang out. You gotta go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Good boy. So, like I said, this is going to be very short term. We're not boiling water out of this kit. We're not cooking out of this kit. This is for very short term applications until we can get back to our big pack. Also as well, carry a tourniquet. That way if you got, you know, some type of medical on you, as far as you get hemorrhage control, you need that. They're super small and easy to pack away in every kind of corner. I recommend replicating as much as possible to be able to get that in there. So, also going to carry an actual knife sharpener itself. And that way I can keep my blade good. Whatever tools I find, I can use that. And this will be my primary sharpener that I use in my entire kit. And I'll try to replicate smaller ones in the kit just in case one fails or one breaks. We've got some smaller line, some Tarred Mariners line. All you got is a simple sport. That way you can eat, you can do whatever you need to. You got that. Some more water purification. I know this looks odd, but this is actually paraffin wax. You melt it down, you dip it in there, and that keeps it waterproof. A little bit of cordage, make toggles or prussics. This is going to be obviously a life straw. Now a lot of people hate these. I've even seen it online that if you advocate for a life straw that you don't know what you're talking about. There's all kinds of ways to filter water, and if this is my small bag that I need with very lightweight, then I'll do what I have to do. If I got to drink out of a puddle, I'll use this. If I'm looking to have more of a sustainment on water, then I'm obviously going to use my filtration system to do that. You can couple this with that bandana to make that pre-filter so you don't clog up this filter as much, and you got longer use on it there. Two more bandanas. We got some posts about using a 3-tier filtration system, using bandanas and a tripod or a quad pod, and that's why we're going to keep those on. And obviously this helps us gather more materials and keep them separate if we need to, depending on what they are. They're also used as noise dampeners packed in between stuff. So you can't have enough of those. You can get them at Walmart, Amazon, you know, all that kind of stuff for pretty dirt cheap. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another lighter in the main compartment here, and that way we replicate. And then I carry a small 22 caliber pistol. This is going to be used for dispatching game, secondary defense if you need to. I know it's not an optimal caliber to use that for, but it's better than nothing in that application. So in this, obviously we're not covering any type of defensive weapons, larger stuff that you carry long term. This is just going to be mostly for the use of small game as you're running trap lines and all that kind of stuff. And I actually run a suppressor with mine as well. And that way you're taking that sound out of the equation when it comes time to use it. Extra magazine for it. And then in the front here, this is going to be a Hudson River tin. And obviously this is a very historical item that was used a long time ago, you know, late 1700s, early 1800s up in the Hudson River. It's going to be a brass tin. The front of it's going to have a magnifying glass so that when you actually take off, book right here. Try not to spill the contents everywhere when I do it. Okay, so when you peel that off, you're able to use that magnifying glass as that fire starter. That'll be used with our char material specifically to help that out. Anytime you're using spark-based or magnifying glass, I highly recommend you're going to use char to use that application. It's going to light much more efficiently. And then in the actual tin, we're going to have a piece of flint or chert, a piece of steel, some actual jute, and this right here is it's charred now. And if you're not familiar with that process, you know, try to look that up and see what it is. You always need to try to process, char, and make it. And this honestly was makeup wipes. The cotton, they come in a pack. It's hard to explain it. I'm not big on makeup, obviously, but they're 100% cotton, which is very important. That's what you need there. And all I did is process that down in the char, and it made these little chunks, which were these pads here. And that it now can catch that spark. And we can use that to put into our bird nest whenever we go ahead and get ready to build that fire. So like I said, this is a quick, easy rundown on this kit. It's modular. It'll change. You can put whatever you want to in it. And like I said, you could dump it out and you can use it for collecting, scavenging, and all that good stuff. And the biggest thing about it, it doesn't scream military. It doesn't scream defensive. So if you need it to gather supplies, get back into civilian looking clothing. That's why I'm not a big fan of camouflage. I'd rather just wear, you know, natural colors that can blend into the environment. That way when you're coming to and from, you don't get marked as being someone who is looking defensive and all that kind of stuff. Try to buy clothes that are very neutral, you know, brands as far as symbols and stuff that look like military, police, or whatever. You want to try to stay away from that stuff and try to blend into the environment the best that you can. So, anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for Jackson helping out on this video as well, and I'll try to get something back to you here pretty soon.